Congratulations on choosing to watch this video, because these 15 minutes have the power to start the most beautiful life that you can have, a life you love.
Today, I'm going to share with you my own experience. I have spent a long time as a person who wasn't generally happy. Just like everybody else, my life also has been filled with a few ups and a few downs. But because I was so worried about the downs, I was not able to enjoy the ups. My mind was constantly chatting with me, and mostly the focus of the chatter was what's not right in my life. My mind was constantly comparing my life with the life of fake happy people on social media. I wasn't able to shut off this chatter, and it was causing me a lot of stress, anxiety, and worry. And I found myself reacting to the smallest of things, and that started affecting my peace, my relations, and my life. I wasn't a bad person, and I understood that I need to make some changes in my life if I wanted to love it. I learned a lot of self-transformative techniques, and they helped me as well. However, the effects were either slow or short-lasting. I was constantly searching for something more. I was always asking this question: what else can I do? One day, I was browsing through the WhatsApp status, and I came across a picture that increased my curiosity. It was a picture in which there were a few people lying down, and they had one person each touching their head. This picture had people as young as 10 years and as old as 90 years. I had no idea of what was going on. So I immediately messaged that friend and asked, "Hey, what is happening in this picture?" She replied, "We are running the bars." "Running the bars?" I said, "I don't understand." So she started telling me that they were doing a technique called access bars, in which only by touching the head the life improves. And I was like, how can that be possible? See, because I already had learned the energy healing techniques like pranic healing, tarot reading, akashic record healing, past life regression, hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming. So I believed in stuff like this. But it was hard for me to believe that something could be this simple and easy. I wanted to know more, and I also wanted to experience it to see for myself. She referred me to Tasneem ji from Access community in my city. I went and met her the next day. She gave me a quick introduction of access bars. Tasneem ji told me that in July of 1990, a realtor named Gary Douglas in US began channeling information about points on the head that act like a computer hard drive for all our thoughts, feelings, emotions, considerations, attitudes, judgments, and decisions. Anything that we decided that was important at any time in this life or any other lifetime. So by 1991, Access consciousness started in US, which is now being practiced in 175 plus countries by more than 500,000 practitioners in the world. I asked Tasneem ji to explain the points on the head thing clearly. So she told me that on our head there are 32 points that control most of the major aspects of our lives, like money, creativity, communication, healing, aging, creating connections, etc. These points are called bars, and by gently touching these 32 bars, we can activate them, and when that happens, they start releasing the energy stuck in them, and our life starts changing for better. She also told me that access bars is not only beneficial for our mental well-being, but for physical well-being as well. Many of our physical pains and issues are the result of stuck energies in our body. She also told me about her journey with Access and how her life changed after she started learning and using various tools by Access Consciousness. I was thinking to myself, this all sounds interesting, But how do I believe someone whom I have just met today? Maybe Tasneemji read my mind. She said, Kanishka, why don't you experience it yourself? She offered me an access bar session as a gift. I asked her, how much time will it take? She said that usually it takes between 60 to 90 minutes depending on person and situations. I asked her, what will I have to do? She smiled, pointed towards a massage bed and said, you don't need to do anything, just lie down. I was amazed that I wasn't asked to do any chanting or practice or meditation, or I wasn't even asked about my personal, professional, or my private life and my problems. I was curious and nervous at the same time. But I was more curious than nervous, so I decided to go ahead and see what happens. Tasneemji dimmed the light and asked me if I needed a blanket. She took my consent to touch my head and she kept her hands on my head. I was thinking about what will she do now and what would happen next. She kept changing the position of her fingers on my head at different times. I started feeling some sensation wherever she was touching, and then I felt something that I had never felt before. I started feeling light. I started feeling calm. I was feeling like empty. I was speechless. And maybe for the first time, I was thoughtless. I was awake, but I don't even know how the 90 minutes got over. Tasneemji thanked me for receiving and asked me to get up whenever I felt like. After about a minute, I got up and I shared my experience with Tasneemji. She smiled and told me that this would change my life. I asked her how much time did she invest to learn this technique called access bars. She told me that access bars is a one-day class and coincidentally she had a class scheduled next week. I asked her that what else will I get and learn in that class. She told me that I will not only learn how to run bars, but I will also get a few more life-changing tools from Access Consciousness. I immediately registered for the class without giving it another thought. I still was mesmerized by the feeling I still had from the session. Another amazing thing was that Tasneemji also asked me to bring both my kids, 13-year-old Dhruv and 6-year-old Shivanya, to that class. Cut to the day of the class, me and my kids had the most amazing day that day because there was so much revealed about our life in the class that I never thought was even possible. I also learned how to free myself from all the unresourceful energy, emotions, patterns, beliefs, and judgments. I also saw a video in which we saw that a neuroscientist ran brain and body scans on people before and after access bar session, and we clearly saw the improvement in their results. After the class, I had a new perspective about my life. Me and both my kids were now access bars practitioners. I enthusiastically started following whatever I learnt in the class. We went home, I ran bars for my husband, and he felt nice too. Now running bars and using simple conversation tools became a habit at our house. My husband started asking me to do the head touch every week. I could see that he was liking it. We also started attending weekly bar swaps sessions where I was meeting other access bars practitioners. We used to swap sessions and share our experience and expertise. Here I learned that everyone who came into the world of access consciousness were genuinely happy in their lives. In these swap sessions, I also found out that we can run bars anytime, anywhere, in quiet or in crowd, even while watching TV, especially Netflix. We can do it for babies and we can even do it for a pregnant woman to bring ease during the most important 9 months of their lives. Even if you slept during the bar session, it would still work. There were no restrictions at all. Just like Tasneemji had said, things started changing in my life. I was calm, small issues stopped bothering me that much, my relationships improved, my skin started glowing, my relationship with money improved, my point of views about everything started changing. Everything that I learned in this life or previous ones started changing. I had created so many limitations about me throughout my life. Access consciousness changed all that. Not only did I change my life, I also started giving bar sessions to others. I helped people overcome stress, anxiety, and other physical and emotional issues. I was once contacted by a mother to a 39-year-old male who was suffering from a chronic depression. Though the guy is rich but not happy, his marriage also did not last. I explained the access bars process and recommended 10 sessions of access bars for him. Before contacting me, he was taking heavy dosage of antidepressing allopathy medicines which had their own side effects. He was getting irritated with people very fast. By the third session, his counselor noticed him getting better and the dosage of his antidepressants was reduced to half. By the seventh bar session, his mother told me that people around him had started noticing a change in his behavior and they started asking them if he was doing something new. Looking at his improvement, she also asked me to run bars for her husband as well. Not only that, their elder daughter-in-law also took 5 sessions for herself and 5 for one of her 10-year-old son, who was facing some trouble at school and in studies. Me and my son Dhruv started running their bars as well. By the time their 5 sessions were over, the mother was so happy that she decided to learn access bars from me to help not only herself and one of her children, but for her entire family. Her mother-in-law also decided to learn this. It was not only them, most of my clients, whoever I gave bar sessions to, started feeling better in their lives and then they wanted to learn it too. So I officially became an access bars facilitator and started taking classes. My very first class had 10 students. Since then, I have been taking classes in Indore. I have traveled to cities like Hyderabad, Mysore, Bengaluru, Belgavi and Goa to teach access bars to seekers who want to make their life better.
Are you a seeker? Have you been looking for something that will bring a positive change in your life? Something that will not only help you but your entire family? Something that is easy and not a difficult or boring routine to follow? I invite you to my one-day access bars class. One choice can change the direction of your life. Are you far from Indore and can't travel? No worries. Click on the link below and fill in the form. Invite me to your city.